Skinner on Absolute Radio. Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. I'm with Emily and I'm with Gareth, and we're live from Edinburgh. Woo!
Yeah.
Edinburgh in Scotland. And
We know where it is.
well, not everyone knows. Never presume.
Okay.
And if you assume you are a Hume, that's a lyric
What?
from a Fall track.
Alec Douglas, Hume.
Yeah, I think that's the reference.
Okay.
No, I've never quite worked out what it means, but it is a Fall lyric. Well, yeah, if you want to text us about anything at all, I mean anything, you can text us on 8 12 15.
I like it when you get that in early.
That number again, 8 12 15. That's for the usual listeners to think, oh, actually, it's more. I feel more at home than expected. I wandered across here today from my little. I'm staying with my girlfriend at the moment. I'm a bit +1 at the moment in Edinburgh, and lovely walk at 7 o'clock this morning.
Did you walk here?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
dear.
I walked. Yeah, it's come to this. I obviously wasn't looking at my "What would Emily do" pencil, which Emily gave me this morning. What would Emily do? It says question mark on
I
the
think
pencil.
we know what she
She
did.
wouldn't walk, and that's the question.
No.
It was so windy that the wind was actually. My eyelids were raising slightly from my eyeballs because of the wind. The wind was getting under them, like some sort of awning. Like if you could imagine a human flesh awning.
Yeah.
It was like that. It was
Like when
right.
sort of tarpaulin rattles in the wind.
Yes, and my eyelids were raising from my eyeballs. It was proper windy, I could say. I thought there might be some leakage of either aqueous or vitreous humour at one point, but no, it all stayed in place. That would have been scary. But yes, it's lovely. I tell you, for anyone who's never been to the Edinburgh Festival, it's a special event, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a special event. And as I walked in today, I saw a lady, and in the distance I could see she was carrying what looked like an enormous donut. If you can imagine a big, like about 3 feet across donut. And I thought, greedy. And then as I got closer, I realised it was material. It was a material sort of a bag.
Oh, a fabric donut.
It was an elasticated bag of some kind.
Oh.
I was still getting a bit closer, still trying to work out what this phenomenon was. And as I got as I was upon her, as it were.
Oh, dear.
Well, it was a big donut. And I realised that what she had was something she'd probably made herself. It was a hula hoop bag.
Oh, was it?
And with several hula hoops, probably 20 or 30 in there. I don't mean the snack food. That'd be a ludicrous thing to make, wouldn't
awful.
it? Could I have a bag for that? I don't like the bags they come in. I want something linen. No, and she looked tired. She didn't look like someone, because when you walk across Edinburgh that time of the morning, there's people who are on the way out, and there's people on the way out. It's the drink. And then there's people who are coming back from, party.
Yeah.
And she looked like she'd been out all night hula hooping.
Yeah.
And you only ever see that at the Edinburgh Festival. I've never seen anyone struggling home with a hula hoop bag in London.
No, I did a gig with a hula woman, so it might be the
Oh,
same
now
one.
we're calling
Might
them
be the
hula
same.
women.
She had
Yeah. That's not very politically correct.
Is it not?
Well, I don't
Hula
know.
person?
We're looking at it being the absolute
Yeah.
hula. No, you're all right with that.
Okay, oh, that's good.
Don't say slot, it says here.
It's probably the same person.
What? What, you saying she's a slot of some kind?
Can I tell you
No,
what's
I found
also
out I
very
can say
Edinburgh,
slot, I'm
Frank?
using it. Sorry?
Can I tell you what's also very Edinburgh? I saw a woman dressed in character as a sort of Jane Austen, smoking a fag, which I thought really ruined it. But that is very Edinburgh, you see. They won't take the costumes off. They won't.
No, but I love them for that. So it's all... How did it go, your gig with the hula hoop woman?
It was brilliant. It was Viva la Cabaret, and it was all sorts of different cabaret people. And a man compared it... Des O'Connor, he's called.
Is he?
Yeah.
Is that allowed?
not
Do
It's
that?
not allowed.
I don't think you can call yourself by... Well, I mean, what about when these royalties come through from equity? It could go to the wrong person.
I'm just going to call myself Tom O'Connor and be done with it.
Oh, is it? Can you only do it if it's O'Connor? I'm going to be Sinead O'Connor. What about that? I shall say something derogatory about the Pope, no doubt, before the morning's through. If I do, I shall wash my mouth out, let me tell you that.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. Absolute Radio.
Jason will be pleased. He
Oh, he will.
loves Depeche Mode.
That's our Keith's son, and
It
for anyone
is.
who didn't know.
Yeah, he loves them.
My favourite mode.
They're your favourite mode? Well, what about Professor Mark Commode, who died this week? Why don't you have some respect? Already,
Oh, no, it wasn't
already
it
he's
wasn't-
been replaced.
It
Wasn't
wasn't Mark
Commode?
Commode.
It was
He's
Frank
the-
Commode,
Yeah,
wasn't
that's
it?
right.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Mark Commode's the one with the
He's the
surfer
one I
in
like.
his...
He's
Yeah,
got the
yeah.
surfer on
Quick.
his fringe.
Yeah, him.
Simon Mayo.
No, he's still alive, apparently. You think that would have... I saw it in the paper, Mark Commode's still alive, was the headline. I'm glad. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. So, it's gone very fallish today. We had, speaking of the fall,
Yeah.
we had a strange experience, didn't we?
Which
were
one?
we on the Royal Mile, or were we on Nicholson Street? I think we were on Nicholson
We
Street.
were, yes.
I think
that's
we were
right.
on the corner of South and Chambers, which is how I like to talk about streets in Edinburgh, like it's New York.
Oh, okay. And, well, a drunken man fell over. Now, I've got to be straight with you. That's not a big event in Edinburgh. And he really went down quick, though, didn't he?
Oh, we went.
His head hit the ground with that.
Yeah.
Oh.
But what was nice,
Yeah.
Frank, was when he did go, he didn't
I'm
look
not
at...
saying it wasn't nice. Not for a second. Don't put words in my mouth.
When he did go, he didn't look in any hurry to get up. He looked like he was settling down for the night, like he was pulling a little duvet over him,
He did
snuggling
look-
down.
He looked like a man, when he was on the ground, he looked like a man leaning against a wall. And I think he'd completely lost his sense of what was up and what was down.
Yeah.
So, I wasn't too troubled. He fell over hard, and I thought, it happens.
And he did have the obligatory mate helping him. There's
Yeah,
always a
yeah.
friend, isn't there? Come on,
Who
mate.
can just about stand up. It's a great sense of the blind leading the blind. Anyway, that was, like I say, it wasn't a big deal. We were just standing talking, and this happened as a kind of it was sort of atmos to our conversation. Then I looked around. Oh my goodness! There was a man bounding at me, wielding an enormous stick. My God, I thought a Quidditch player had dropped from the skies. And, we shouldn't laugh because it was a terrible... What had happened, and I don't think I've ever seen this before, and a blind man he tripped. He must have been travelling at quite a pace, but he tripped on the curb, I think. And, when you trip and you have to really run to stay
Yeah.
upright, and of course he had the stick, and I looked and he was at me, and I was really startled for a second. And suddenly, it felt like everyone in the world was falling over except
I know,
us.
except for us.
Yeah. Or maybe there was maybe it could have been like a sort of... It was like there was an Edinburgh street show of the various reasons one might fall over in the street. Drunkenness, blindness.
Do you know what happened, Frank? When, after we said our goodbyes to you, at that point you decided to make your excuses and leave, like Mazay and Mahmood.
I think I just made one excuse. I think it was the tedium of the conversation.
And as we were walking past, we still had to navigate the drunk man who was lying on the pavement.
Can I say, for our listeners, the blind man didn't actually fall. He managed to stay upright, which was good news.
Yeah, he
But
regained his footing.
he was like a missile.
Yeah. But Gareth, who was with me, I was with Daisy, the producer, and Gareth's wife, and Gareth said, "Oh, I'm a bit scared." And I goes, "Well, don't look at me. I'm no good in these situations. You're on your own." I felt so
True.
unsafe.
But what are these situations when the whole world falls over? I mean, does that qualify as a situation? Well, I thought the Earth had fallen from its axis, and the tremor hadn't reached me yet, and I thought everything was going to go over. Like one imagines. I've always imagined that when the Titanic hit that iceberg, it was a tragic thing, and many lives were lost. And I'm not making light of it, but I'd like to have seen all those penguins fall over. That would have been just the best thing.
This is Frank Skinner on
Absolute Radio.
Mumford and Sons, The Cave. Is that what it's called? Yeah, The Cave. Oh, hello, lovely, a nice cosy cave with a big log fire and people in skins talking.
And the banjo.
People in
And a
skins
band.
talking.
People in skins talking, yeah. It's the new Channel 4 publicity campaign.
The Skins goes to the radio. We've had a lovely text message.
What, on 8, 12, 15?
Yeah. Frank, there's not enough...
That was a hint, by the way, to anyone who's listening.
8, 12, 15.
Text message 8, 12, 15. You said, you see?
Frank, there's not enough reference to aqueous and vitreous humour on the radio. Good work. Sally, optometrist, Western Supermare.
Well, that's lovely, isn't it?
Oh, that was a reference to your little... you were saying earlier on that you'd walked in and your eyelids had lifted off.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
Essentially.
Yeah, thanks for that little reprise. And God, you're here. That's lovely. Is that a way of saying there isn't enough humour on the show? Is that what she's getting at?
Yeah.
I say, is that what she's getting at? Can
I
you
don't
hear me?
think so. She's being positive.
No,
She's
she
being
is. I
positive.
appreciate it. Thank you. I love the fact that a professional has acknowledged that.
We've also had a lovely email during the week.
An email?
Hi, yes. Hi, Frank, Gareth and Emily. This week...
Hi.
I'd rather
Hi.
you hadn't said we'd had it during
Hi.
the week.
Right,
See, if you'd
so-
intimated it had come this morning, that would have been like there was a hotbed of communication. Now you feel like, oh, God, we better use something that's come during the week, because nothing's coming in today.
Well, the
Made
problem-
us sound desperate in some way.
The problem is, because we're in Edinburgh, we can't actually get emails.
Oh, do they
So
not
we
have
should
emails
know.
here?
No,
Oh,
not at all.
I didn't realise that. I'm
We
terribly
can't
sorry.
do that.
They don't want the administrational backstory.
I think they
Let's
have,
just read the email.
they have chain mail here still. I wear it Fridays and Saturday evenings on the way home. I wear it in Edinburgh.
While smoking a fag.
Yes.
Well, no, because people can't email in, that's what I'm saying.
Oh.
Stop
Okay.
going on about the admin and read the email.
This week I went to a poetry... This is the email now.
Okay. I didn't think you were just telling us a story. You were too declamatory in your manner.
This week I went to a poetry reading on the shore in Connecticut, and the poet
Oh.
opened with Alfred Edward Houseman.
Did you think not using the initials would get under the wire? You were mistaken. New listeners, by the way, should know that there is a thing on Absolute Radio where if you mention A.E. Houseman, the poet, a siren goes off. Now, I can
Yeah.
say it now because you're the first mention on the show, the siren goes, and then after that you're all right. You can go A.E. Houseman crazy. But I thought we'd be all right in Edinburgh, but obviously because we're broadcasting on Absolute, the rules still apply.
Yeah.
You never know.
You can't ever
Carry
escape
on
it.
a lot. They're in Connecticut as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in Connecticut, and the poem opened with A. Houseman, and this other person in the audience made the imitation of the air raid siren.
In Connecticut?
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
The poet was a bit startled, but the person explained, it's a Houseman Skinner thing.
That's not
That
something
would have... Well, he
you
says
hear often.
explained.
It
How
was
marvellous.
fabulous.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah.
So there was two people in the audience, because obviously the person... Who emailed us?
Samantha, that was Samantha.
So Samantha and the other person, two people in a Connecticut poetry reading, listen to this show. Well, truly, we have arrived.
That makes me very happy. Frank, I've got another...
Can I say she was pointing to a picture of a man with in just Speedos on when she said that? For those of you who think she's gone very cultural. Well, we're going to have to stop it because this is a bit of a big moment for the show. Instead of just playing off the computer
Oh,
the
yeah.
music, I've actually got to put a CD in.
Oh, 1974.
Yes.
How are you?
Welcome to north of the border. So, you might be able to hear the click of this going in.
I hope it's not scratched or anything.
I did
we'll
hear the
soon
click.
You hear the click. How marvellous.
It's like
And-
Kid Jensen.
And with any luck, a red light has come on, which is a good sign. With any luck, this will be, well, it's actually one of my choices. It's the Suzukis, who I rather like. And if there's a silence after this, that's not the record. It's the CD player. Here we go. I'm quite excited, and about you. Lovely.
Do your big go go!
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. That was Reasons for Leaving by the Suzukis. I'll just eject that. I quite like the manual
I love
approach.
it.
Well, I've often said that.
It's like when I used to tape the charts off the radio.
Oh yeah, we'll be playing from cassette next week. Having to fast forward to find the right track. So, what else?
Well, we had an email in this week, Frank. And do you remember you were talking about your... well, I don't know if it was a massage experience. I better let you explain what it was.
Yeah, for those of you thinking, oh, this'll be good, I just said I went to a relaxation room in a kind of a spa place on holiday.
Yeah.
And I got as relaxed as I'm so relaxed that I released anyway. So I afterwards I was in the bar and someone was playing Autumn Leaves, you know,
Yeah.
the Autumn Leaves, and I felt so relaxed, marvellously, and then a few days later I heard Autumn Leaves again, completely out of context, and felt mega relaxed again,
Well,
in a very strange...
I can
I'll give you an
explain
example,
why.
just as a little example for those of you who don't quite understand. I felt my shoulders have gone lower as this has come on.
Oh, goodness sake, House. No, that doesn't really help you. Oh, no.
It's like I'm imploding. I worked with Basil Brush once, and in rehearsal, the bloke who operated...
Stop name dropping.
The bloke who operated Basil Brush took his hand
I got
out.
off with Sooty, you don't hear me going on about it.
And when he took his hand out, Basil Brush was left there, but all limp and imploded, and that's what I feel like. I feel like an unhandled Basil Brush.
Oh, I love Basil Brush.
Anyway, so this email.
Oh, yeah. So, it's from Dr. Sarah Johnson, and she says, Frank's Scandinavian experience was an example of classical conditioning, a form of learning in which a response, relaxation, is elicited by a neutral stimulus, autumn leaves,
I'm loving this.
which previously had been presented in conjunction with the stimulus that originally elicited the response.
We've lost half the listeners, but keep going.
Spa treatment / yoga music / comfy chair.
You know, there's absolute listeners at home going, "Where's White Snake?"
Yeah, and that's
I see. So it's because I heard that music when I was very, very relaxed.
Yes.
When I'll always associate that music with relaxation from now on.
Well, as Sarah says, to surmise, it is absolutely an example of Pavlovian conditioning, following the work of Ivan Pavlov, a Russian physiologist in the 1920s.
Of course.
So that's what you had, Frank.
Salivating dogs and all that.
Yeah.
Well, that's... I'm loving... I'll tell you what I love about this, is that Dr. Sarah Johnson, chartered clinical psychologist. I like the fact that she's been chartered. I imagine men with ropes going across her, making notes. But also, she's from Guernsey.
Oh, is that Bergerac? Oh, no, he's the other one.
I can't remember which one it is. It's a Channel Isle. But
Yeah.
I don't know what the population of Guernsey is. I imagine it's about 11. And one of us is going to have to be a chartered clinical psychologist. Sarah? Well, I don't know anything. Just do it. It'll be fine. There'll be a book.
I imagine she just wanders around seeing if everyone's okay.
Yeah,
And
I bet
on
she's
his
in
chat.
Guernsey's Olympic team as well. I think they all are. Everybody's in it. So, by the way, we've got Arj Barker is our guest today. An American comedian. We all went to see his show the other night, and thank goodness it was marvellous.
Thank God we loved it.
Yeah, we didn't have to lie this
Yeah.
week. That's always good. I don't think I think we've lied twice
We have
over
lied
the
before,
years.
we have.
Yeah. So she also says, Dr. Sarah Johnson, that when you heard The Only Way Is Up, on that, when you had a meal in the sky and were frightened, that you always associate that with fear as well.
As I just started singing it, I did feel a bit scared.
I remember that song. I remember when
here we
that song
go.
was out. It was on my birthday, and my dad had taken me out to buy me a skateboard. And that song was on the radio in
So
the
The
shop.
Only Way Is Down would have been more appropriate.
Well, yeah, exactly, because my dad always likes really novelty things. So instead of getting me a proper length skateboard, he got me this really short, thick,
Oh,
like trick skateboard.
Stubby.
Yeah.
Oh.
And it was just incredibly dangerous. 'Cause
Yeah.
it was very hard to stand
How old
on.
were you at the time?
I was probably about 8.
Well, I
And,
suppose he got one to match your size, is what he did.
No, but
Yeah.
I think the longer it is, the easier it is to stay upright on it.
That's your
Right.
excuse.
We've got loads of
I
school
suppose
pictures
so. I mean,
with us.
eventually it becomes some sort of a boardwalk. No, it's not a thingy at all. What am I doing now? What am I doing, Daisy?
Are we going to have a texting?
What?
Are we going to have a texting?
A text?
Yeah.
Are we going to have a
About
text in?
a
What?
set about
I think you've got me mistaken with Mystic Meg. I don't know if we're going to have a text in. I've begged the people. I've said 8, 12, 15 about 100 times. We've had 3 texts, 2 of which were abusive, and then you're saying we're going to have a text in. I've no idea. We're in Scotland, mate, but they don't reach. Oh, I'm scratching now. I've got too much. What's happening next?
Well, I
Do you
think...
want me to play some music?
And I don't.
Why
And you
have
want me to
not?
play an ident? Thank
Yeah.
God we've got
Yeah.
that. I'm terribly sorry, everyone. I'm under a lot of pressure here, and I've got a slight cold. Not that you care about that. I'm going to play number 10, Ident. What do you think about that? You all right with that, Daisy? Don't stand over me glowering. I hate that. I don't like glowering at this early in the
Just
morning.
play the music.
Is it glowering apart somewhere in
Is
Scotland?
this still happening?
Oh, shut up.
This is Frank Skinner
Absolute.
Radio.
That was obviously Golden Brown by the Stranglers. Well, you say obviously, but I had a friend who was taught by Dr. Karl Popper, the
Oh, yes, I'm
philosopher.
familiar with his work.
And whenever they said obviously, he would say obvious to who. So
That's what I like about Karl.
Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Well, you have
Arch
had-
Barker is our guest this morning. He'll be along after the news. Very, very funny comic who we saw after we went and saw his show the other night.
Apparently he's got shades on. That's what the
I've
word
heard
on the street.
he's got shades on indoors, so it's a bit of a big moment for us. And he's with his publicist, who's called Tina, I think.
No, it's Georgia.
Georgia.
Oh, I think she's called
Georgia,
Tina.
the
Because,
publicist.
that's terrible, because I went in and said, don't cry for me, and they didn't even get the joke. Oh, no wonder they didn't respond.
I'm actually clapping it. I love it so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. So we were talking about hearing music and then associating it with something.
Yeah.
So we just wondered if our listeners have got any particular tracks which remind them of a bad experience or maybe a very good experience. Nothing
Yeah.
rude. I mean, come on, nothing rude. Hey, come on, hey! So, because I love the idea of particularly bad associations with music, because music is supposed to be about joy. Do you see the juxtaposition? Yeah, so there's that. Oh, you were going to say something, Gareth, I believe.
I was. We've had a text in saying...
This is brilliant news. Do you have any champagne? There it goes, hold on.
Frank...
That sounds like the central heating coming on.
That was the central
in a
heating coming
Birmingham
on.
flat.
I should say it's 7 below in Edinburgh today. Very cold.
It's lovely here. Go on, read this text.
Frank, you have just succeeded in making me chuckle. Nice one. Which more
I've
DJs...
been on air 49 minutes.
Nice one. Which more DJs could learn to have a laugh on air?
You know, you're right. I think I might be onto something here.
I like that it's quite admonishing to the other DJs there.
All
Sorry,
other
who
DJs.
sent that in?
From Paul in Bath.
Okay. What, in the city, or has he just cut off? He's having a quick rinse.
He says, please play Absolute Beginners by David Bowie, which we won't.
Well, we
But,
don't, but I like the fact he's got absolute in the title. That's a good idea.
Oh, yeah.
Says
He's
that-
very on brand.
I wonder if it was the first track played on Absolute, because it would have been Absolute Beginners, would have been perfect, wouldn't it?
I don't know if they'd have thought that through. Don't get me wrong, I love the suits upstairs at Absolute, but
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure whether that level of planning would have gone into it.
But just for you, we're absolute beginners. There you go.
Oh, that gave me the
Very
creeps.
Yeah.
Frank,
Yes.
I saw a site this week which made me feel quite sick.
Sorry, but you just shouldn't walk in on me like that.
She never knocks.
She doesn't knock.
Mind you, your house, I think, just has a beaded curtain, doesn't it? I noticed that. Yeah, it reminds me of those chip shops I used to go to as a youth.
There's a flashing neon sign as well. It says models. So anyway, I saw the site that I saw this week that I'd like to share with you guys. I saw a man when I went to a gig. What was it, Daisy? What was the gig? Gutted the Musical. Went to see
Daisy's
that.
all over this show like a rash this morning.
I know, she's building up a part. I saw a man with a T-shirt. And do you want to know what it said on that T-shirt?
Is it clean?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's repulsive.
Oh.
It said, if found, please return to pub. And I
It
thought,
said it in that accent.
I feel if the T-shirt could speak, it would have had that voice. And I thought, I never ever want to speak to you, to the man who was wearing that.
Yeah.
Do you understand that?
No, I know what you mean. There are certain... I don't know if I think slogan T-shirts I might stop wearing altogether. A friend bought me a T-shirt, a very kind gesture. He bought me that from his holiday in America. And I haven't... that's about 3 months ago, and I only wore it this week for the first time. And it sort of summed up all that I think is wrong in the world. It says on it, Disney soccer. And I wandered around like it's so wrong. I'm all about Bovril and knitted scarves at football matches, and it said Disney soccer.
That's
And
so
I
on
wa-
you.
And also, if you see anyone in a cat sweatshirt, You know, Cats the musical.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that.
No,
I
that's
think it'd be all right to punch them in the face legally. I think you'd get away with it in court. There'd be a wave of public sympathy.
Do you know what I hate?
That's why I think Andrew Lloyd Webber looks like that. Years of being punched in the
I
face.
don't like it when women wear those T-shirts going 100% sex goddess.
Oh, no.
And I think, we'll be the judge of that, love.
Yeah, I saw a woman, a very attractive young woman, to be fair, in Bournemouth. Richard's
Oh,
country, as I
okay.
like to call it. And her T-shirt said, "Forever Beautiful."
Oh.
And I thought, have I got stuff to tell you about the meaning of the word forever? I hope she's wearing that when she's 60 and looking in the mirror and thinking, oh, I was so wrong. Now I am like a withdrawn prune.
Frank, that's really mean.
Okay.
Maybe someone will still find her beautiful at 60.
Oh, yeah, I'm not saying that someone... Actually, it's anyone who would wear a Forever Beautiful T-shirt is not beautiful on the inside. That's what it seems to
Oh,
me.
yeah, fair enough.
I've been wrong before. I mean, when I don't know about you, I developed high-rise housing in the 60s. That was me. And at the time, I thought, oh, man, this is going to... And, you know, looking back, I'll be honest with you, I think it was a mistake.
And we've had some texts in saying associations with music. Cy from PGL.
Associations with music. That's your summary of the failure.
Yeah.
I mean, for God's sake!
I also like that the text is saying associations of music.
Well, let's not pick on Gareth. It was his birthday this
Oh,
week.
why
We've
change
been-
the habit of a lifetime?
Well, I don't know about a life. It might seem like a lifetime to you.
No, but I like it when he goes all John Gielgud like that and dramatic.
Anyway, what are the texts?
Cy from PGL in Merchants Hill, who is a regular texter. I think it's...
Cy from PGL.
Yeah, I think his parents get lost. I
We've
think
been
it's
down
some
this
sort of
road
charitable
before.
organisation.
Yeah.
Was dumped at a Good Charlotte gig. I've got stuck 4 years ago, and now can't listen to Good Charlotte's Boys, Girls and Boys.
Boys, girls and boys. Oh.
Girls and Boys.
Dumped at a gig. How does that happen? Because at a gig, there's not much room for conversation.
I
is there?
don't think it's working. Sorry, what? I don't think it's working.
That's what it must have been like, though. How
That's why they do
terrible.
it, so you can't have a proper
And
confrontation.
did she go? Did she just go and stand in another part of the gig? I mean, she wouldn't have stayed at his side after that. That would have been terrible.
Oh, yeah, what would you do?
Oh,
Mosh.
suddenly you're the only one who's not dancing because you've just been dumped. Oh.
I once got dumped before a gig, though, because the guy just didn't turn up. It was a Paul Weller gig, and I waited, and he just never came. That's quite bad, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know if that classes as being dumped. Does
Well, it
it?
is, because I never really saw him again. I
Yeah.
never knew what happened.
But that's the trouble with the internet, don't you think?
Well, how dare you?
Sorry?
Frank! He was an actual man that I knew.
Oh, I'm assuming. Oh, I thought he might be a 51-year-old Malaysian. 51-year-old Malaysian, just imagine it. Yes, carry on.
Matt says I have a terrible link with most Sting tracks. Don't we all? My wife, not wanting to waste money she spent on the tickets, made me go to a Sting concert when I had proper flu.
Oh.
I hear Roxanne now, I break into a cold sweat.
Yeah, I hear Roxanne now. I'm unable not to join in. It's so high. You just think, I'm going to go with him. Right! Even if you don't want to. I don't think he should anyway. We'll be back after the news with, no one can say that, God willing. We'll be back after the news with the fabulous Arj Barker.
This is Frank Skinner
Absolute.
Radio.
Has it ended? I mean, how are you supposed to know?
That's what I always ask at the end of every relationship.
Oh, no. Yes, it's funny. It's called Before I Fall to Pieces by Razorlight.
By the Scottish man in the street the other day.
Yes. I understand it had blood on his head after that fall, you were saying.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to help, but then I did say quite loudly, there's a bouncer at a nightclub. This is his jurisdiction.
It is, yeah.
I felt it was his area.
They must deal with that a lot, I would have
Exactly.
thought. So, yes, this is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. I'm with Emily, I'm with Gareth. We're live in Edinburgh. Our guest is Arj Barker, who'll be in a minute. I don't think there's any other news today, is there?
No. I don't know if he's got his shades on still. I hope he takes them off.
I hope he wears them for the show.
Do
I don't think
you?
we've ever had anyone on who's worn shades for the whole. I think, well, we had Roy Orbison on earlier
Yeah.
in the series. Yeah.
Orbison kept them on, and
Yeah.
Peters and Lee, the man from Peters and Lee, kept them on.
Yeah. Di Lee, she was all right. But, yeah, he was... Stevie Wonder, strangely enough, he wore those ones with, like, the vertigo things that make you look a bit dizzy, like spirals.
Well, I
Yeah.
think someone had put them on.
Oh,
I don't
practical
think-
joke. I hate
Yeah.
that. Did you read, what a story this was?
Yeah.
A woman at Disneyland in Orlando, she claims, and this is a sensitive subject, I have to put it, she claimed that Donald Duck, you know the duck.
I'm familiar with his work.
Donald
Yeah.
Duck.
Yeah, Donald Duck, I mean, the sort of character that wanders around, they wander around at
Yeah.
Disneyland. He groped her chest. I'm going to call it her
Yes.
chest.
Yeah.
The actual, the character that one associates Disney with purity and stuff. This is alleged, by the way, so he might not have done
Yeah.
it. I say here, who knows who's in there?
You said a legend. You didn't say he was a legend.
Well, he is a legend. I don't think there's any Donald Duck ledge. I've heard that. So I think someone was telling me where to put my Donald Duck model at the time. But, yeah, she said not only did he grope her chest, but afterwards he threw up his hands as if he, as she said, as if he knew he'd done something wrong.
He made
Marvellous.
she said her name was April, I think it's April Magalon, actually.
April Magalon.
Yeah, and she says he made a joking gesture as if to indicate he knew he'd done wrong.
No,
So
he remained
do you think
in
that's
cha-
what he did?
He remained in character, is what he did.
Yeah, but Donald Duck did that. So what did he do? What you think? You're only guessing this, Frank. You don't know what he actually did.
No, she said he threw up his hands as if he knew he'd done something
Like,
wrong.
oh,
I did the mime then, and to what end? Say radio.
Maybe he held his hand over his mouth to look a bit coy, like when they do.
Mouth, you say?
Beak.
Do you know what I like, Frank?
Well, yeah, but come on, it's a
Michael
bit
Bill.
early in the morning.
Frank. So she's suing for $50,000, but do you want to know a list of her symptoms that she says she suffered as a direct result of the duck grope?
Of course.
So, yes.
Anxiety, headaches, nausea, cold sweats, insomnia, nightmares, flashbacks, and digestive problems.
Really?
Yeah, I like digestive problems.
Ducky tummy.
No foul pest. Bird flu. Avian flu, she's claiming. I bet he did that when he did it. How terrible.
He's quite a mischievous character.
Well, he's the one.
Donald, isn't
If
he?
you
It's gonna be
said to
him.
me, if a woman said to me, I had my chest grabbed by a Disney character, he'd be my first port of call. Let's put it that way.
Really?
I don't think Mickey would be interested.
Well, Mickey, I think too. Does he wear trousers, Mickey?
What's that got to do with
Does Donald
anything?
Duck wear trousers? I don't think so.
No, he
He
doesn't.
just wears a shirt. He's ever ready.
Oh, it's like the Hair Bear Bunch, just with a belt, a low-slung belt.
Oh,
You know who I would have suspected? Chip and Dale. They're pesky.
Really?
Yeah, they've got that look in their eyes, haven't
yeah,
they?
but they're a bit. I always imagine they're a bit young. They're probably in their 50s now. truth be told. Whereas the mouse, you wouldn't get it with the mouse.
No.
He's a bit effeminate for a start. I think you'd. I mean, I'm not saying that as a bad thing, but I've always thought that about him. Yes, I'm going to play The Fall.
Right.
Oh, in honour of the falls we
In
saw.
honour of The Fall. I think it's been a week.
We had an email, didn't we?
Oh, did we?
Guess what, Frank? Marky Smith lives near me and drinks in my local, and his dad was our plumber. I enjoy your radio station, your humour is a tonic, and I love it when you play a song from The Fall. See ya, Joe.
Thanks for that, Joe. I like the Marquis Smith's dad was their plum. You've got a bit of a stoppage in your S-bend.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. Absolute Radio.
It's the end. That is the end. It just ends a bit like that. That was Pacifying Giant by The Fall. Arj Barker has arrived.
I'm here.
Oh my god, he started with a terrible crackle.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, this is the fourth house.
Yeah,
In,
that's doing...
Yeah.
That microphone's doing the thing again.
Are we allowed to say where we are?
Yes, of
It's not a
course.
secret.
I've got an idea. I think Arj should cuddle up to me and share my microphone.
Emily.
That's a great idea.
I'm on a antique radio from the 40s. So
I kind of
those
like it.
ones you gotta crank.
Any minute now, you're going to say that you've declared war on Germany.
This is the news as we know it. Attention.
Okay, yeah, you better come over
Arj,
here.
you're going to have to come and sit
Oh,
right up
it's all
close.
going.
Come
it's all
away,
going-
Anne. Come away.
It's all going Beatles back in. Yeah, give Arj his own mic, for
Okay.
goodness sake. He's the guest.
Okay.
I'm sorry
it's
about
fine.
this, Arj.
No, it's fine. No worries.
Can I say that we all went to see your show the other night, and we absolutely loved it. We all looked at each other at the end and said, I'm so glad he's coming on, because it was
great.
great. It was genuinely great, and I'm not saying that because you're here.
No, appreciate it. It's been really fun. It's my first Edinburgh in 10 years. I used to do it, like, from 97 to 2000.
Yeah.
And I just said, all right, 10 years. I said, I'm ready to go back.
Wow.
And it's been real fun. Because you always hear it's like the heart. Oh, it's so tough. It's the toughest festival.
Yeah.
It's such a long but it's been really pleasurable.
I should explain that you're not English. For anyone who's thinking, I can't place that accent.
Yeah.
You're actually from San Francisco.
Yeah, from that area, yeah. From California but I have worked in the UK a lot. You know, I used to come out here. We were talking before we went on the air, but I remember working on the circuit, but you had already kind of stopped doing that.
Yeah.
You were probably doing, I guess, mostly theaters, but spent a lot of time touring around the UK, so it's not a strange place to me.
Well, it was. I got a feeling the crowd were very much.
Yeah.
They were fans.
I think people are coming from all over. Yeah, there's a few Aussies.
I think they
there
were
every
into
night.
worship at your comedy altar. That was the impression I got.
The crowds. They've been great. I can't complain at all.
And I should say that the act it's very it's an intelligent act. You know what I mean? It's not in that kind of the way a lot of comics now feel they have to make really big serious points. It's just that a bit of work is required from the audience.
It's intelligent and stupid at the same time.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is.
That's what I'm.
And
That's my goal.
It's a beautiful blend in that respect. So, did you kicked off then working in America and doing clubs there?
Yeah, I started there quite a while ago. Geez, about 1990. And so working there about 5 years, and then I sent a tape over to a couple agents, VHS. That's how long ago it was.
Marvellous.
And one guy brought me over, and that was it. And so I started working internationally. And now I work in Australia a lot. That's like...
I read stuff about you in Australia. I mean, you really are a comedy god in Australia.
Well...
Don't be modest.
I would never put it that way, but I would say I have a much higher ratio of fans, probably 10 to 1. I mean, I can't estimate, but you can look on, you can go on Facebook.
Yeah.
And when you're the administrator of your page, and you can see where the so-called the fans are.
Yeah.
That people have signed up. I call them supporters.
Yeah.
I don't know, fan, fanatic. You know, it sounds a little over the top, but
Yeah.
anyway, you can see in there 95+% from Australia. So that kind of tells you.
Have you ever
can
tried to
analyze
work out why that is?
Well, for me, it was simple. It's just, you know what it's like when, one day you're a comic, and then you do a TV spot, and then you're still a comic, regular comic, and then one day you maybe did enough TV spots, and suddenly you've kind of entered the consciousness. Of
Yeah.
People know, sort of in a weird way, they know who you are.
Yeah.
I mean, you must have gone through that, and it's just sort of it just clicks, and then they start lining up.
But there must be something special about you and the way Australians think for them to take into you like that. They're quite a laid-back people, aren't they?
I think we do have a real sort of similar. Maybe I have a way of looking at things or a attitude that fits well with that culture. They are really kind of
because they're intelligent and
not
stupid.
too bothered.
That's what we're moving towards.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I don't want to go on the record.
But having said that
Or say
about
anything.
yourself, I think they take it as a compliment.
But I do love it there. I feel right at home there, so maybe that's a good sign.
Definitely.
And, things just worked out. But I actually think to look at it more analytically, it's because I just was on TV enough, just doing spot after spot. And since there's only 4 or 5 main channels that most people have,
Yeah.
as opposed to the States where almost everyone has cable. They have hundreds of channels.
And there's only about, I think, 400 people in Australia as well, aren't there?
No, there's about 600 now because a lot of people have been
Oh, okay. That's
601.
It's good.
including me.
I wish I could play Al Green's Getting Mighty Crowded at this point, but I can't. I'm going to have to play this instead.
This is Frank Skinner on
Absolute
Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
Yes, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Under the Bridge. That sounds painful.
Beautiful song, isn't it?
It is. Thanks for listening. So we're with Arj Barker. Arj Barker, I should say, to get to do the nuts and bolts in this, is on at the Assembly Rooms at George Street in Edinburgh every night at 9:20.
And we recommend it.
Yeah, I mean, now there's only, about 7, 8 more shows? Let's see. No, wait, I think 9. Because I finish next Sunday. So,
Right.
yeah, it's already winding down. It goes by quick.
Yeah. When you say winding down, now you're still giving it everything. Let's tell the audience that.
Oh, yeah, no.
It's not like, I'm nearly there now.
Yeah, it's not like, I think let's leave early tonight. You know? it's like the last day before our vacation.
I did this thing that after when we left, you were at the door, which is always, I always like to get out the way quick for it. I'm always frightened someone will come up and say something scary. But I just said, "Oh, that was brilliant," and you just said, "Oh, thanks." And I thought it was I don't know if I knew who I was, but I needed to tell him that.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, I know of you, but I don't think we ever actually worked together, so there wasn't an incident.
No, I don't. And I kept it brief because the person that stays for the second sentence, you always think, hold on, where is this going? This person wants to be my new best friend.
Yeah, I don't assume that. The only thing is with that theater, there's a show after me called Lesbian Bathhouse.
Right.
And
Frank, we didn't know that was on. You would have stayed for that. I bet.
Yeah, it's an enticing title for sure. And they come right in because everything's kind of tied together. And if the crowd lingers, those girls are trying to set up their stuff on the stage.
Yeah.
So I sometimes, if people want to chat, which I'm happy to chat, but I'll go outside and sort of Pied Piper the crowd a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
People start gathering.
You don't
there.
want them in the bathhouse.
No,
Yeah.
take the party outside.
Well, I
Arj.
just try to clear out because those guys try to get their show started.
So look, Arj, I guess that you're best known in this country for Flight of the Conchords.
I guess I'm best known generally in the whole world. If people know of me at all,
Yeah. Because
they
it's a
would
massive
most
show.
likely, yeah, that show is definitely more people probably would know me from that than anything.
When you run a hardware store, of course.
Well, it's like a pawn shop.
Yeah.
You bring your old stereo or whatever, get
Yeah.
$2. It's not a very great shop, but it is a real shop.
Is it?
Yeah, they paid someone to kind of clear out for the day when we filmed.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but they would add in junky stuff and make it look a little worse. They'd put like
Yeah.
weird stuff like the macrame owl.
So one
Okay.
could go to that shop. As a
Yeah,
sort of
people do go there all the time because the fans, they go on
Yeah.
a little tour when they're in New York. And they go and talk and
people
ask the
go on a
guy.
pilgrimage.
They get their picture. Yeah, they do.
Oh, marvellous.
According to the guy, at least they did back when we were filming season 2. There's people come by every day. He said that fans of the show, like, it's like they're crazy for it. They love it. Like
Yeah.
you don't meet people that go, yeah, that show's pretty good.
Yeah.
They're like, either they might not know about it or it's like their favorite show.
It's like Doctor Who. It has
like a little bit.
It has devotees. That's what it
Yeah,
has.
it's a little bit of a cult thing. But anyway, that was a real nice, lucky sort of thing for me. It's a small part. I play the guy called Dave on the show.
Yeah, but you're in it a lot.
Yeah, I'm in it a lot for like a couple minutes.
Yeah, but there's something special about that. I think people love a good. They love a regular character.
Yeah, no, look, I mean, it's probably easily one of the coolest things
Exactly.
I've ever gotten to do. So
Yeah.
it was definitely fun. It's finished now. A lot of people, I mean, they still ask, "Is there a season 3?" They don't seem to have gotten the memo.
Yeah,
about
but
that.
the next thing will be the Christmas special. Whenever people stop doing it, they get tempted into a Christmas special. That's the normal thing.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. But right now everyone's sort of off doing their own bit.
Oh,
And,
you're sitting by the phone waiting for that moment.
well, no, I stopped sitting by the phone when I saw it in the newspaper.
Oh, no. That's how you found out.
Well, actually,
It's like being David Beckham.
there was one false alarm. I was in Australia, and this guy was like, "Oh yeah, I heard they're doing season 3." I was like, "No, I don't think so." He goes, "Oh yeah, I heard it."
Oh no, you thought they were doing it without you.
I was like, "Yeah, they're definitely doing it." And I thought, "Oh really?" So they decided to do season 3, and they said, "Let's call Keith from Wollongong and tell him the big news before we actually call the people
People
in the
have
show."
got different methods for disseminating information. That's the way it goes.
But he was wrong, sadly. But I respect those guys to kind of say, we want to do other things.
Yeah,
We've
oh
done
yeah,
a good
totally.
show. Because people can't always understand, but I understand completely.
I'm going to play a CD. How retro is that?
Yeah, CDs are cool.
Here we
I
go.
remember
then.
those.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. Absolute Radio.
Guess what? That was called Fast Forward.
I was
Like
just chatting
calories.
to Arj and you interrupted.
I'm
Renee,
sorry.
fast forward, but on a CD. Well, I guess you could fast forward on a CD. I don't know what I'm talking about.
I don't know if you can.
I was thinking of tapes.
Yeah.
Definitely fast forward on a tape. But remember, with the cassette tape, the big deal was auto reverse. That's how you.
Oh, yeah.
Oh God,
If you're
I've
like-
forgotten all about auto reverse.
You're like, I don't even have to flip it, son. That was like badass.
That was a special moment. I used to love the Discman.
Oh, I like that as well.
So after the sort
Yeah.
of the original Walkman, the one that actually had a CD in it, and you used to have to walk very tentatively, or it used to jump.
Yeah, yeah. They were Skippy.
Yeah.
Skippy.
I saw a woman with one of those on the tube the other day, and she literally, in order to put her CD on, she had to get out this whole suitcase full of CDs to change it.
I love that though.
Yeah.
Fight the iPod
Yeah.
generation. So, Arj, there was a time I read that you were going to do a show with Jimmy Carr.
Well,
What happened? What happened to the Great Lost show?
Well, you know what it's like when people start working on a idea or project. It goes so far, it might go to just concept or script or even pilot, but to actually get on the TV, it's a lot of steps. And I think we started writing the script, or we wrote one script, but just never.
I think
Came
that
to
could have been.
fruition.
I can see you two as a great combo, though. Do you know what I mean?
But that was so long ago. Of course, this was before Jimmy. He was just starting out as a comic. It was already really funny, and that's sort of how we met. Doing shows together.
Well,
But-
he used to be my warm-up man.
Yeah, he's
He did.
Well, he's my showbiz friend, Big Wow.
Oh, don't. I thought you'd bring that up.
I'm going to set up a meet. I think you need to resurrect it, Arj.
Yeah, well, we're buddies. We're still friends. So if we ever, but he's super busy touring.
that old one.
We're both touring. Maybe you never know though. Maybe we'll have a chat about it if he's up for it.
I think we
Maybe
should.
this is the. Maybe this will get back to him and.
Yeah, maybe this is the moment.
Well, he arrives today, Arj. Now's your
You know
moment.
what's going to happen? It's going to
I'm
be.
getting nervous thinking about it.
It's going to be. It's going to get made, and there's
Yeah.
going to be. I'm going to have a show, and there's going to be. They're going to have to decide on the BBC whether we go with the Skinner show or the Arj and Jimmy. Let's go with Arj and Jimmy, and I would have shot myself in the foot
Oh.
this
Yeah.
moment.
But we'll have you on as special guest,
To my seat, Carl. Yeah, exactly. You are the
Uncle
guest.
Jimmy.
So you have an animated series with
What?
you and your cat.
Yeah, that's something I've been doing for a few years with a buddy in Sydney. He's this animator, and the way we met is he animated some of my stand-up and sent it to me.
Right.
I said, this is incredible, because you don't expect that. You could see a lot of work went into it.
Yeah.
And we became buddies, and then we worked together. We just put them out. They're like a minute long. They're on the internet. They're called Arj and Poopy. And they're just...
Do you have a cat called Poopy, or is that a
No, I have a-
fictional construct?
I have a cat called Ringo.
Oh, so you just changed the cat's name?
No, Ringo came along way later. Poopy's,
Oh, okay.
Poopy's just animated cat. I mean, he's real in that. Is Bugs Bunny real? I guess he's real in some way.
Donald Duck is real.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Don't think there's any question about that.
No.
There you go.
Well, look, Arj, I would very much recommend people, if you're in Edinburgh this coming week, go and see Arj at the Assembly Rooms. It's a genuinely funny, clever, sort of life-affirming show, I thought.
Oh,
I
thanks.
came out of there and thought comedy's in good hands. You know what I mean?
Oh, I appreciate it. Well, that means a lot.
Yeah.
I'm flattered. Thank you.
So please go see Arj Barker at the Assembly Rooms. Arj, it's been great talking to you.
You too. Thanks for having us on.
Do your be go go.
Sex on Fire by the Kings of Leon. I don't like having to say the S word. They're forcing me to say the S word on morning radio. Be kids at home
Oh, you
saying
changed.
saying to their moms, "Oh, what is that? What does that mean? Sex?" And then that
And
gets
why is it on
complicated.
fire?
Yeah. And how did it get to be on fire? Is it? Yeah.
He was nice, that Arj
Nobody
Barker.
knows.
Oh God, yeah, he's nice. No one is questioning that.
He's quite handsome.
Comedians always are.
No, they're not.
No, they're not actually.
They're
He
awful
was.
normally.
No, that's not true.
You two are exceptions.
You two, they're not comedians. They're just tax exiles. So, I tell you, I was at home in London in the week, and because my girlfriend's up in Edinburgh for the whole thing, I was home alone, as it were.
Oh.
Yeah. And I didn't do that screamy face that Macaulay Culkin did. Well, he shouldn't have gone to Neverland in the first place. Anyway,
Franklin.
Franklin. So I the house gets a little bit untidy if you're not careful when you're in on your own and being casual. So I thought I'll fill the dishwasher. Right? Something I don't do that often, I'll be straight with you.
Oh, rock and roll.
And I went around the house and I gathered every little bit of dirty cutlery and I loaded it up. And I put it on and I had a burst of absolute massive excitement. The fact, first of all, I was so proud of myself that I'd gone and gathered the dirty crockery and stuff. You know, you feel like a job well done. At the end of it, I actually, with my hands, went, yes, that's that put away, thank you very much.
Like a Disney character.
But the knowledge that it was in that dishwasher cleaning, I found exhilarating. You know the things in life that you don't appreciate a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And then suddenly it strikes you. It was like up here. I've noticed up in Edinburgh, there's a couple of roads that they're closed. They've actually got barriers. They're closed to traffic. They're proper roads, not pedestrian areas, but proper roads that are just closed. I don't know, because of roadworks. And if I cross a road that's closed like that, so I know that I have the luxury of not having to attend to forthcoming traffic, I love it.
Little thrill you get.
I was tempted to cross back and cross over again. Just not having to check for traffic. What a bonus.
Maybe that's what that drunk man was doing the other night. That's why he fell over.
Yeah, he seemed to be checking the concrete. I think he was trying to communicate with Arnie Sackmunson. That's what I think.
You know what I get?
I say Arnie Sackmunson.
Google it.
Yes, exactly.
I get that fact, that domestic thrill. I get that, you know, when you've got a grimy hob, and why are people laughing? It's nothing weird with that.
Isn't that film with Johnny Depp? Well, that sort of gothic.
You know what I
Romance,
mean
Sleepy
about the
Hollow.
grimy hob, and there's all dirt on it, and I quite like letting it build up.
Grimy Hob is a sort of like a fictional town from a Noel Edmonds TV show. I was in the post office in Grimy Hob.
Grimy Hob.
Yes, a Grimy Hob.
But you know, I quite like letting the dirt build up, so that then I get the satisfaction of you put all the cream on it. You put like the what is it called? That stuff, that product? I don't know if I'm allowed to say.
it hob cleaner?
Sif, it's called.
Sif.
Yeah, and then you use a J-cloth, and then it's clean. It's all. Oh, I love that when it's sparkling.
I've been putting cream on my Sif for years, and has it cured it? Certainly not.
Oh my God!
I'm terribly sorry, everyone. I seem to be picking up Emperor Roscoe in my right ear. Can that be right? Yeah, it's. But then again, there are domestic horrors. The worst thing ever is the failed battery on the smoke alarm.
Oh, I'm glad you said the smoke alarm.
I'll tell you what I can.
There's nothing I hate worse than burning to death.
Yeah. Well, it's up there, let's put it that way. But I find with this, sometimes, when it first goes, you know, it sort of has that horrible...
Oh, I see.
Oh,
when
yeah.
it first goes, I think it's my training shoe against the wooden floor. And I think,
And then
I've
you
been done
realise you
that
don't
over
have
the years.
shoes on.
Yeah. And then I think, it's that thing. And
Oh,
it means
that's
you have
not
to get
good.
up and check. You can't
Well,
get
do you
the
know
top.
what
You
I've
can't get the
done?
top off the damn thing.
Which I know is very responsible, but ages ago I wanted a fag and I couldn't have one because it kept going off. So I disabled it. I must change that because that's very naughty, isn't it?
Can I say, on the behalf
Yes,
of
I
Absolute
know.
Radio, that disabling your smoke alarms is a very, very bad idea.
I love it. I love making things work when they didn't work before. I went around my mate's house and they had an extractor fan that they said, when you go in the bathroom, you have to keep the light off all the time, because if you put the extractor fan on, it will stay on for an hour.
Oh.
And I was like, well, that can't be right. It must be on some sort of timer. So I got a screwdriver.
You got a screwdriver. You of all people, I can't believe it.
I opened it up and I adjusted the timer on it so it went off after about 5 minutes. And I was the king of the world!
Well, I'll get
Best
to
thing
our
ever.
house. That's absolutely amazing. Well, look, I don't think we can top that.
No.
Oh, we haven't got time.
No, we haven't got time. So the next week will be, I've got a frog in my throat now. Do I clear it, or do I carry on to the end of this link and slowly dissolve into Lee Marvin doing I Was Born Under a Wandering Star? I'm going to do that. I'm not going to clear it. It would be unsightly. If it can be unsightly on the radio. Answers on a post.
manage.
Our last, that's this week. That's next week's phoning. Can you be unsightly on the radio? Our last show is live from. I'm just reading my notes here as if it's a full sentence.
Yeah.
Next week will be our last live show from Edinburgh. Our guest will be the fabulous Sarah Millican.
Oh, I love her.
Oh, we all love her. And also you'll be able to download Not the Weekend podcast this Wednesday, which is a chunk of completely new and original material, nothing to do with this show, which is on is it iTunes it's on, Daisy?
Yes.
Yes,
And
it's
the
on.
website.
And obviously the Absolute website, but I shouldn't imagine too many people seek it there. I mean, you know, for goodness sake, it's going to be pictures of razor light. I mean, come on, get over it.
Light are ever so good.
And they're really, really.
They're our
Oh, is it
cup of
that
tea.
time already? So anyway, thank you very much, and good day to you.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. Absolute Radio.